As we look at this smiling face, at the red hair now going to white, and at the trendy patterned shirt from the Mills Fleet Farm sale bin, we are inspired now to look back on the first 60 years of the life of Joe Carroll. We can't cover the entirety of Joe's journey, given its broad geographic and circumstantial scope, but we've selected a few illustrative scenes to help bring Joe's life into focus. Joe was a unique child. Many episodes illustrate this. One day, way back in 1957, Mom was out and Dad was supposed to watch the two little boys, which is all the kids they had at that time, although plans for 10 or more were on the drawing board. Dad took a nap instead of watching the toddlers, however. Joe, 2 years old at the time, looked hungry to his brother Jim, then 3 years old. So Jim, true story, considerately served Joe a bowl of spaghetti in his high chair. Joe thought it was a hat and tried it on. This was the first of many different hats Joe wore in his life. Here's a picture of 420 Elm Street, the house where Joe did most of his growing up. He shared the house with 5 siblings. Joe and Jim shared a bedroom until Jim moved downstairs when Joe was 13. This gave Joe more private time to think up adventures to pursue. One of the adventures that Joe pursued was driving without a license. A few times when Mom and Dad went out at night, Joe, then age 14, would drive Mom's car around Winona. One night, Jim and his friend Howard saw Joe crossing Highway 61 in Mom's Chevy wagon. Here was the look on Joe's face when Jim and Howard saw him. After Jim and Howard saw him, they drove back to the house fast. Joe arrived back home a short time later. Sweating profusely, he asked what was up. They told him that Dad had called home looking for Joe, that Dad had been told Joe was driving the Chevy around town. This was Joe's reaction. After Joe got caught driving the car around, he was grounded for 26 weeks. Joe learned to entertain himself within the confines of the 420 Elm estate. One of the things he did was play hockey in the garage. Here's a picture we found of Joe playing goalie and Jim shooting from the point. Often when Jim and Joe were playing, the puck would bounce off the fertilizer spreader, which hung from the hook on the garage wall. And sometimes things inside the spreader rattled when the puck would hit it. Joe also took up rock guitar in his teen years and got very good at it. In fact, Joe's life later on in his 20s and 30s could be viewed as a sort of long rock concert tour. Palm Beach, Tampa, Chicago, Denver, St. Paul, Minneapolis, Madison, etc. Fortunately, he avoided the fate that befell many famous rock guitarists like Jimi Hendrix and Duane Allman. We need Pat Conlon to make Joe a new set of eardrums so that he can resume his rock career. Wrecking, riding around in, the family boat while Dad was at work was another favorite Joe pastime in his teen years. He liked to jump the boat full speed over big boat waves on the Mississippi River, like this. There's Sugarloaf in the background. Dad couldn't figure out why the boat had to be fixed so often. Joe followed in Jim's footsteps and enrolled at Bemidji State after surviving the academic rigors of Cotter High School. At BSU, Joe lived in Oak Hall dorm. Here was Joe's dorm room. Most days at noon, after Jim's last class, Jim would go to Joe's room and wake Joe up so that Joe, having slept through all his classes, could still make hockey practice on time. Jim and Joe actually had a class together, taught by Professor Joseph McKenna, the dumbest person ever to teach college, or high school, or grade school, or pre-K, or daycare. Joe, Carol that is, not McKenna, got smarter not going to the class. After Bemidji State, Joe decided that college life wasn't for him. He got a job in the real world and got wheels to drive around in style. A 1952 Pontiac Chieftain, which he cranked to start and dragged his feet to stop. Women swooned when they saw it. He wore wraparounds driving it. People whispered that Joe was going Hollywood. Joe eventually settled down to a workaday life in the Twin Cities with his poorly heated apartment in South Minneapolis and his landlady and sometimes squeeze, Winnie. He often kicked back with his guitar and his real first love, Towers of Haagen-Dazs. Fast forward a bit, and we find Joe on this beach on the southern tip of Miami Beach, Florida, where he and Melody got engaged while on a trip visiting Jim and Ann. When they got back to the house, Jim and Ann congratulated Joe and gave Melody their deepest sympathies. These then are some of the scenes that come to mind when we think back on Joe's first 60 years. The four of us want to wish Joe a happy 60th and many more, but we have to do it piecemeal because Jackie's way up north in Florida State University. Jackie gives you a special birthday greeting from Florida State. Here she is on her first day of college. By the way, at FSU, she lives in Cawthon Hall Dormitory, room 420. That's room number 420.
Happy birthday, Uncle Joe. I can't believe you're almost as old as my dad is. Jerk.
Happy birthday, Joe. Wish we were there to celebrate with you. Have a great day.
Hey, Joe, happy birthday. Congratulations on reaching the hallowed 60 mark. I can tell you from experience that it's no sweat and you still feel young afterwards. So happy birthday and many more, and looking forward to telling you in person next time we see you.
Hi, Joe. It's your sister Janie coming on the screen to wish you a happy 60th birthday. This is so weird doing a recording like this. I don't know if it's going to look like I'm looking at you or looking at myself when you finally see this. But several of us got together and decided, since we weren't going to be able to get to see you on your birthday, we thought we would give you a chance to see us. So here we've organized a little video celebrating you. And I just want to introduce it and give my 2 cents, since I'm putting this together for you with a little help from my technical gurus in the background, Lara in particular, trying to help school me through this. Anyway, I love you so much, Joe, and I am so happy to have you as my brother. And I just have so many memories of you and I growing up, starting with, gosh, where were we first? 5th Street in the green brick building, or green concrete block building right along Westfield. I don't remember a ton from then, but I do remember being in that building and playing in the yard around there. And I remember you and Jim swinging golf clubs, and me trying to get on the act. And it wasn't long after that that we moved to Hiawatha Boulevard, 502 Hiawatha Boulevard. I'm sure you remember that place well, where we were running in a pack with the Petersons and, God, whoever else was in that neighborhood. I hardly remember anyone else. I just remember being really good friends with Joni Peterson. But you guys had each other, and you had your guy friends, and I seem to always remember wanting to get in on your sports games and all of that, and then moving from there to 320 Elm Street, and we, gosh, I think did a lot of growing up there. We spent a lot of our formative years there, and I remember the bicycle riding and helping you and Jim with your paper routes and playing basketball in the front driveway, and whenever you guys would let me, and you guys playing hockey in the garage and in the neighborhood creek, and that we called the Crick, and Pat's store. We used to regularly take candy when we weren't supposed to. And I tell you, the Friday night ditch games and the Annie over, and God, you guys portraying the Beatles in the driveway, and I mean, so many fun memories, and boating and trips with the family up north in Okoboji and over in Iowa, and just we had a lot of great times. And I know I was always trying to be one with you and Jim, and you guys seldom let me get in on your fun, but as we got to be older, we were more likely pals, and so that was nice. And then I know you showed me a lot about music, and I guess if anything, whenever I think of you, I think of music and how much you love music and the guitar playing, and from Jimi Hendrix to Eric Clapton to Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen, your idol, and all of the greats, obviously. So I can't think about you without thinking about music. And of course, the funny story going beyond high school and into college and living at your apartment in your kitchen. God, I tell you, I had some great living experience, didn't we all? But I remember the years of you working for Dad, and I'm sure you learned a lot there, and know how proud Dad was of you being a part of that, part of his organization, and really wanted so much to have you take over a territory. But I think you had a different calling, and for you it was going to be something else, unique to yourself. And I think your pursuit of music has been really great for you, and obviously very fulfilling, and so glad when you moved to Madison and we could spend more time together. And even though it's hard for us to get together these days, I know we did spend a lot more time together earlier on when you were still here and when you were first here. And of course, since you've met Melody and now have your life with her, well, I'm not as important, but that's okay. We all have had to move on and be with our significant others, our husbands, wives. So it's like I've told my kids, it's, part of evolving, sharing life, but maybe moving into different roles and different situations that make maybe what we used to do alter somewhat just because of life circumstances. So anyway, I just I love it when you guys come over here and spend time with us, and I love coming over there to visit you, and love it when we have times together in Winona. And life is short. It's like I was saying to my kids just recently, it's too short to not be there more for each other and spend more time with one another. So I hope in your year of 60, I'll get to see you more often. That would really, really be great. And I know we're gone a lot, but let's give it a try. So with that, I just want to wish you the happiest birthday, and I hope we'll get a chance to celebrate together and do that dinner that I've been trying to put together, which hopefully, when your schedule allows, we'll get to do. And just love you very much, and you're a great and talented guy, and just you know, love Melody so much, and I love you two together. So God bless you, and I hope it's the best year ever.
Can we say the day? 60 years and you look like a boy.
60 and sexy, Joe, isn't that what they say? Joe, ahoy! We're about to take off.
Hi, Joe. Mick here. I found a boat for you. We did.
Oh,
Just your size.
Yeah.
Ready to sail.
well, we wish you were with us, Joe. I'm up in the cities today after seeing a football game last night, and here having lunch with Mick and Jenny. We're talking about your birthday coming up. We sure would all love to see you, but you know, we're thinking about you and we love you a whole lot.
We wish we were there with you celebrating, Joe. We love you so much. Happy big 6-0. You don't look at it. Cut that 6 in half and make a 3 out of it. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, just you're starting a new decade. Not decade. Decade. Now, Joe, so you can be a
Have a grand birthday, me lad.
yeah, and
You're a fine Irish lad.
brand new New Year's starting out.
Happy
So,
60th, Joe.
yeah.
Love you.
Yeah,
Your boat needs sails, but other than that, it's in good shape.
Joe, Jay here speaking on behalf of all the Hopkins Carols. Wishing you a happy 60th and a great celebration. Wish we could be together and celebrate with you and roast you and toast you. When I think back on you, Joe, I think of a great supportive brother who always cheered me on, was probably my #1 fan as I went through the whole gauntlet of football. And I think now of Quinn Carroll, who's a 9th grader, who's got all these brothers cheering him on as he gets his chance to play varsity. And it reminds me of you and Jim cheering me on when I was young in high school or even junior high, and how that spurred me on to just want to please you guys. And especially you, Joe, who was so into football and such a big supporter. So I thank you for that. I love you, and I send the love of all the Carols and Hopkins too. Happy birthday, Joe.
Wanted to say happy birthday, Joe, and hope you're having a wonderful day celebrating your 60th. I'll never forget when I turned 16 and you let me use your Camaro. That was certainly a special moment. Not sure if you know what happened afterwards, but ended up having to dodge the police at a party that I had taken that Camaro to. Nonetheless, got it back safe and sound. And what can I say? Today I've learned a lot more responsibility, and certainly that it's a privilege to have a vehicle. With that said, loving you, missing you, and can't wait to see you in the near future to celebrate appropriately. Bye-bye.
Hi, Joe. Happy 60th birthday. I want to wish you the best birthday, and I hope this year continues to bring you lots of love, joy, happiness, and healthiness. And I thought maybe I would take a minute to go back in time when I was on the basketball court, schooling girls left and right, and on the soccer field, and always knowing that you and Mel were in the stands supporting me. And I actually just recently came across this video. I'm not going to turn it on, but it is titled Lizzie Torches East, which in typical fashion, I mean, I couldn't do it with all your love and support, so thank you. And I thought I would just show you a little bit of some nostalgia to bring you back. And we're going to start with West High School photos of me playing basketball. Here we are, running out. You were probably in the stands. And then, fast forward, Lake Forest College. So I hope you have a wonderful birthday celebration, and I love you so much.
Hey Joe, happy birthday. I hope it's the best one yet. I hope you're enjoying your day with Melody and family, and I wish I could be there to celebrate, and so does everyone else in the family, but hopefully this video will make up for it, and hope to see you soon. I miss you. I love you guys.
Happy birthday, Joe.
Okay.